What's up, guys? Welcome back to a new video. In this occasion, we are going to talk about this amazing movie of the early 2000s that I love. It's one of my favorites, in fact, of horror movies, and it's named Hostel.
Hostel.
I watched this movie since I was little, you know. In fact, many of you, as some friends have asked me, how comes that you know too much about, early 2000s or even 80s movies or music, music or movies or TV shows since you were born in the 90s, right? I'm a millennial. And it's because all my brothers, my brothers and my sister are older than me. So of course I receive their taste in their tastes in music and movies as well as TV shows, right? So when this movie was released, launched, I wasn't supposed to watch it. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to watch it because I was very little. I was like, I don't remember exactly. I was between 8 and 10 years, I guess. So my brothers, especially the older one, the older one, he's 10 years older than me. Yeah. He used to buy movies. They used to have the PS1, PS2, PS3. No, I lived with them. We lived together till they got the PS2 or PS3. PS3, I think, still. Anyways, so they used to leave their movies, around. Obviously, movies, like normal movies, right? Like horror, comedy, action, in the house, along with the DVD player. So once I found this movie, and I was curious about watching it, I watch it and I like it. I don't know. Sometimes the parents don't pay enough. Parents sometimes don't put enough attention to their kids. So, anyways, I watched the movie. I watched it in pieces. I think I didn't watch it full. But it's always like a kind of good memory. I think I even saw it with the brother that was born before me, the medium. Let's say, he's 2 years older than me, and I think we saw it together. So, it was cool. We liked it. We were scared when we saw it. But in general terms, I like it. And even when I grown, I get to be an adult, I still like the movie. And after I started traveling, like Europe, because I have traveled Europe, just a few countries, but I did travel Europe in 2019. I felt like immediately remembered this movie because I normally, I travel as like with a backpacker, sorry, but I travel the backpacker style, in hostels, so that way I can meet new people, and but yeah, I like this movie. I find it sexy, and when you travel to other continents that are very far from yours, you really feel this vibe and you really feel identified with the characters of this movie, Josh, Paxton, and Ollie. And you feel that vibe because you're very far from your country, and not even your country, but your continent, your culture. In fact, when I stayed in a hostel in Amsterdam, I stayed in a room with three double beds, that one is on top of the other one. And when I just got there, there were two German girls and an Australian guy. So I was the fourth person that arrived that day. And after me arrived, I don't remember if the other German single lady that was traveling alone, or the American guy. I don't remember exactly, but I'm smiling because it was a little bit funny, the situation and situationship. Like when you go to a different continent and you met someone that is from yours. For example, I was excited about meeting, the German girls and the Australian guy. But when I saw the American guy, his name was Jacob. He was super white, by the way, like the typical stereotype of a white American, right? I get a little bit kind of excited because I was like, okay, somebody from my land from my continent, right? And I immediately felt his vibe. He flared with me. He was a Libra zodiac sign, and things happen there. But anyways, that would be a video, a history for another kind of video, maybe, if you want me to talk about it. I also plan to make a video talking about my experiences with the magical mushrooms, hallucinogenic trips. But anyway, so this movie, you feel identified because yeah, the life experiences of the backpackers, especially. A funny thing is that this actor that played the Oli character, I was gonna say Collie, like, no, the Oli character, he wasn't an actor when he met the director and the producer. He was an entrepreneur in his origin country, Iceland, and he was an athlete of handball. His name is Ítor Gudjonsson, born in Iceland in 1968. Here I'm going to give you a little background about him. Although he never having acted or studied drama before, the Icelandic entrepreneur found fame when he was cast as a backpacker Oli in the 2005 horror movie film Hostel. Born in Iceland, pursued sports, becoming a national handball champion in his country. Before turning into the entertainment business and taking a job marketing videos with the Walt Disney Corporation. He used to be an entrepreneur who opens a Little Caesars pizza franchise in Iceland and undertakes several state ventures. In 2003, the writer and director Eli Roth visited Iceland to promote his feature film Cabin Fever and was introduced to Gudjonsson, whom he found to be very charismatic, larger-than-life character. Roth and his pal Tarantino befriended the ex-athlete, and Roth wrote the part of Oli especially for Gudjonsson when he penned the script for the Hostel in 2004. With Roth directing and Tarantino producing, Gudjonsson gave a scene-stealing performance in the AG thriller, and even served as associated producer of the sequel launched in the 2007 Hostel Part 2, which I watched also, by the way. I like it very much too. But I think I think I like more the first one. Despite his success in the movie, Gudjonsson has stated that he has no desire to pursue a career as an actor and is content with being husband, father, and businessman. Like I say, of the 3 movies, I watched them all, but like the third one, I didn't like it too much because it was made in Las Vegas. It's supposed to happen in Las Vegas, and it was filmed in Las Vegas, but I didn't like it because I feel it more. It doesn't feel that authentic, And the first one is my favorite because I like this actor Jay Hernandez. He's born in the United States but has Latin roots, and I don't know, I guess I normally always like the first parts of the movies, or maybe even the second. Maybe sometimes it's very rarely that I like the third movies of a franchise, but in general terms, I like it. And here we go with the first facts. The third part was made in Las Vegas because there were many complaints of of Czech Republic country, especially from this Bratislava city, and even some Eastern European countries complain about the movie because, of course, it gave them a very bad fame, right? Like a bad reputation to these kind of cities.
Did you know the 2005 movie Hostel disgusted the Slovakian and Czech Republic government so much that the Tourist Board of Slovakia invited Eli Roth, the director, on an all-expenses-paid trip to their country so he could see it is not made up of rundown factories, ghettos, and kids who kill for bubblegum. Defending himself, Roth said that Americans do not even know that this country exists. Roth argued that despite the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series, people still travel to Texas. The Hostel grossed $82 million with a mere $5 million budget.
In these decades, by the way, like people wasn't enough experience about traveling that far other continents. It was not very as common. I mean, it was not as common as nowadays. Like nowadays, literally everybody can travel the world, other continents. But in those decades, it wasn't. So obviously, the people felt influenced by this movie at some point. It kind of uh, stained the reputation, maybe, or maybe not the reputation, but it made the people feel scared about, like exploring these cities. And also, this is a vibe that I felt also with the Midsummer movie. I watched this movie when it was launched. I don't remember the year. I'm gonna put it here. I don't remember. I think it was before the pandemic. I will put the year here. This movie, the first time I watched it, it was in a movie theater with my boyfriend. We started watching it, and as soon as the scene of the magical mushrooms appears in the movie, and since I have experienced it, experienced this, you know, natural drug of the mushrooms. I don't know, something, my intuition told me, don't keep watching this movie. I knew it was gonna be very scary, and it was. Thank God we left. So what we did is that we left that room, and we get into another one. We didn't miss the money of the tickets because we just moved to. Oh my God, sorry. We just moved to another movie to watch another movie. Okay, so we didn't waste the money. But this movie of Midsummer, I watched it after in my laptop, I think. Sorry, I had to move because the sun is following me. So I watched it, and oh my God, for me, honestly, it's scary. And back to the topic of the Hostel movie, it's scary because it's made supposedly in Switzerland. These are backpackers too. The group of American friends are backpackers, and they are doing tourism. Are backpackers, and they are doing tourism in a Switzerland little town. Like very adventurous. But it comes that these people, they are crazy, they are satanic or something like that. They make satanic rituals. They end up dead, of course. They some of them are tortured, kind of, and they end up bad, right? The movie, the ending, the girl becomes crazy, at the end of the movie. So it was good that I have this intuition with my boyfriend. He's, a son of Mexican fathers, but he was born in the United States, and he was always agree with me. We didn't have any arguing for not watching the movie or whatever. But this movie gave me the same vibe a little bit, kind of like then Hostel a little bit, because these are very different cultures, But nowadays that the world is more, that we have more like globalization, like people, we share more, or we know more people from different countries. And when you have conversations of deep conversations, or luckily like deep friendships, kind of, or whatever, you realize we are exactly the same. We just have different traditions, maybe different culture or taste for food, but at the end of the day, it's the same. But what I mean about this is that back in those years, people was more influenced by the TV, the movies, what we used to see, in TV. So I guess that probably, yes, maybe people was suggestionated by this movie, right? So here I will proceed now with the facts of this great movie, and very sexy movie also, by the way. The two actresses that play as Svetlana and Natalia, I find them very sexy, these two Russian girls. Eli Roth, the director of this movie, was inspired on doing this film due a friend of him told him about a website in Thailand, that offer, website and organization in Thailand that offered the service of killing people for around $20,000 as a kind of sick entertainment. This organization was supposed to be real, but that's something that we will never know. Eli Roth initially wanted to do a documentary on the subject of the murder vacation. However, as he was doing research, he found it almost impossible to get into contact with people involved in this business, and that he could put himself in danger for asking around. So he decided instead to use the subject for a fiction movie. At around 1 hour and 5 minutes of the film, the porn film that the guard is watching at the factory on the DVD player is Sex Fever of 2003, the X-rated parody of Roth's first film, The Bloody Cabin. The interior of the slaughterhouse was filmed at the Functional Mental Hospital in Prague, built in 1910, in a wing that had been closed for over 50 years. Building 10, where many of these scenes were filmed, was where the craziest patients were taken. Imagine that. Imagine how many bad energies this place, or low frequency vibes this place has. The basement was so creepy that the director Eli Roth had a string quartet playing classical music to make it feel cozier while shooting. This movie and the controversy about the bad tourism reputation in these Eastern European countries and Bratislava city exploded or came out because this director and producers prefer making this film in the Eastern Europe, though it was cheaper for them, and the permits with the government for taping, for filming, and also the locations permits to filming as well were way cheaper than doing this in United States or another more popular European countries. And therefore, that's why they also, gave the real version of where this history is happening. They gave the real locations. However, certain scenes were also made in Germany, but just a few. The most of them were made in Prague and in these Czech Republic cities. The main trio of friends, these guys, stay in the room 237 as a reference to the Shining movie. Eli Roth hired real street kids to play the bubble gum gang. Over 1,500 gallons of blood were used in the making of the film, nearly 3 times the amount used on Eli Roth's first film, The Fever Cabin. Eli Roth asked the president of Iceland for an official apology for making Icelanders look like drunken sex maniacs with the character of Holly. The president laughed and gave Roth the pardon, saying it represented a side of Icelanders that has never been shown in films. Roth also issued a formal apology to the Icelandic Minister of Culture for all the damage Hostel might cause to the Iceland's reputation. And I guess this apology was because the Holly character, the role played by this actor, Itor Johnson, he was always wearing, like this jacket with the Iceland flag in one of the arms. And also, they mentioned when they are hanging around and they're talking, these guys were best friends, and they supposed to meet Oli during their trip through Europe. I think they met him in Barcelona, right? So Oli decides to join them, but in the film, in the movie, he is Icelandic man, so I guess it create kind of controversy in these years or decades as well. But if he's representing the personality of the Icelandic people, I will never imagine it neither, because they seems to be way reserved persons, but you never know, once people get drunk, they always become a more extrovert people, right? One of the few things I know about this beautiful country is the singer Björk. I like her music. Her style is very eccentric, kind of, but I like a few of her songs, like the most famous or some of the most cutest of her songs, I have always wanted to go to one of her concerts. Hopefully one day I do it before she pass out or something happen, I don't know. But this is the only reference I have from this country, and I don't know, we don't know too much about Icelandic people, but this is funny version of how they might be, and surprising as well. I mean, I never stopped to think about it until I start preparing the facts about this movie for you, right? But it's pretty interesting. I will never imagine that from Icelandic people at all. Anyways, let's keep going. Eli Roth directed the film with the idea that it will get an NC-17 rating. This kind of rating is established by how violent the movies are, and that he will have to then pick and choose edits in order to earn an R rating. To his surprise, the MPAA review immediately gave the movie an R without demanding any cuts. Roth did make a few minor edits afterwards, but this left the most extreme violence and gore intact. The actor Jan Blazak, the Dutch businessman, didn't speak any English. He had to learn his lines phonetically. Thomas Galbabi, a member of the Slovak parliament, said he was offended by this film. Is what I mentioned you at the beginning. He thought all Slovaks should have to be offended. In the first 9 minutes of the film, Quentin Tarantino appears as a shirtless German man screaming from a window, screaming to the three guys. I didn't get to realize it was him, but as soon as I watched the movie again, I will realize, I guess, I know this actor from other films. In fact, Český Krumlov town, where the film was largely made, actually has a museum of torture. Eli Roth wanted to have the world premiere of the finished film at the 2005 Iceland Film Festival. For some kind of reason, I think this producer had a fascination for this country, or I don't know, like a love. He used to like it a lot because his attachment, right, to the culture, and also I suppose that he developed, or he had a great friendship with this actor. I always forget his name for some kind of reason. I'm gonna put it here with this Icelandic actor, because it's very mentioned, this country, or like this actor showing the Icelandic flag on his coat, on his jacket, sorry. Roth and Tarantino were made honorary Vikings at the Viking village in a ceremony arranged by Ether Johnson. In the unrated DVD version of the film, the word fuck is spoken 128 times. I believe that because I hear this word way too much in the movie. Also, although the Slovakian actress Barbara Nedeljakova gained a large following among the men horror fans for her topless scenes, she admitted in interviews that she wasn't really enjoying taking her clothes off for the film. For some kind of reason, I thought these girls were both Russians. Sorry, my bad. Thomas Galbabi, an Slovak member of the parliament from the Slovak Democratic and Christian Union, comment: "I'm offended by this film. I think that all Slovaks should be." Defending himself, the director Eli Roth said the film was not meant to be offensive, arguing, "Americans do not even know that this country exists. My film is not a geographical work, but aims to show Americans' ignorance of the world around them." Roth has repeatedly argued that despite the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie and its many sequels, people is still traveling Texas anyways. And he's right, but he's also accurate with this fact about showing American ignorance of the world around them. Because in those years, I guess, or decades, and also even lately, nowadays, there is still some very ignorant Americans that doesn't have very good geographical education, references. Like they have a mess with their word and country's geographic orientation. Like a little example is that, for example, they normally think Mexicans are all Latins. Sometimes that's the point of this movie director. They tend to be, or used to be, ignorant of the world around them because it's considered, or they feel, or they consider the country the center of the world, just because the Hollywood movies, or the music industry, everything is there. So I guess that's why. That might be the main reason, but I don't know. You tell me your thoughts about this, your opinions. What do you think? He probably gained some complaints, or bad, complaints, not bad reviews, but just complaints, maybe, in order of depending on these cities accusation, Eastern Europe cities accusations. He gained maybe a little bit of hate with these statements. I don't know. I have no idea. But anyways, although Kana is Japanese, she is played by a Singapore actress, Jennifer Lim. Similar to Jan Blasak, who did not speak English, Lin did not speak Japanese either and was required to learn the language for her small role. This movie was the film debut of Jana Kaderakovas, actress, this Czech actress that played the role of Svetlana in the movie. And it doesn't seem so because, I mean, well, obviously she was a very professional actress, but her play is very natural, you know, her role. I like it a lot. I find these girls very sexy in the movie. I mean, they are supposed to be, but I like it a lot. And I also like the actors in general. I like the actors. I like Derek Richardson. I find him kind of cute too, but I like more Jay Hernandez, and it's just not because he's Latino, you know. I mean, he has Latin roots or Mexican roots. I guess it's Mexican roots, you know, because it's the most predominant nationality in the United States or race besides the white people. But I find him for some kind of reason like sexy, or I don't know. I like him. I like his role, and I don't know. I would say that I feel kind of proud about his role, you know, as Latin roots actor, you know. But anyways, let me know your thoughts. Did you watch this movie and how many times you watch it? I personally think I have watched it like 5 times maybe because I kind of like it, you know. And I normally just, you know, I don't watch too many of the newest movies. I normally like more the retro, you know, the movies that kind of bring me, you know, like these vibes or these memories. So anyways, I hope you have liked this video. If you get till this point of the video, it's because obviously you enjoy it. So please, I encourage you to subscribe, leaving your thumbs up and sharing it wherever you want to, okay? Stay tuned for the next upcoming videos and see you on the next time.